Princess Leonor last dance with Christian, and then everything changed. Spain expected a formal evening. Music measured. Smiles rehearsed. Two airs moving through a familiar royal ritual that has played out for generations across Europe. Princess Leonor and Prince Christian were supposed to end the night the same way it began, composed, symbolic, untouched by rumor. Then came the dance. Because what looked like a simple closing moment wasn't ceremonial at all. It was the last moment before everything changed, quietly, decisively, and in full view of a watching world. And the truth is, that dance did not create the shift. It revealed it. From the outside, the setting was flawless. Youth, tradition, elegance, cameras positioned at the safest possible distance. Spain saw its future queen standing confidently in a role she had been preparing for since childhood. Denmark saw its future king doing the same. Nothing out of place. Nothing to analyze. Or so it seemed. But royal moments are rarely about what is written into the schedule. They are about what escapes it. The music began softly, not dramatic, not attention-seeking, a familiar choice meant to fade into the background. Leonor stepped forward with the ease expected of her. Years of discipline showed in her posture, her timing, her calm. Christian followed, equally trained, equally contained. For most viewers, it lasted seconds. For those inside the room, it felt longer. Because there was no performance between them. No gesture designed for headlines. What caught attention wasn't closeness, it was restraint. The careful awareness that every movement would be interpreted through layers of expectation far beyond either of them. That restraint told a deeper story. For years, public discourse had insisted on narratives around them, comparisons, speculation, projection. Two young royals, both heirs, both raised under pressure most adults never experience. Everything about their visible interactions had been managed carefully, precisely to avoid turning symbolism into story. And yet, during that final dance, symbolism cracked just enough to let something human show through. Leonor didn't smile for the room. Christian didn't look toward the cameras. They listened to the music. Observers later said it wasn't romantic. It wasn't strategic. It was reflective. And reflection is dangerous in monarchy, because it invites interpretation. That night ended without drama. No announcement. No statement. No acknowledgement that anything significant had occurred. But the following days told a different story. Spain didn't move on. Clips replayed across screens, analyzed not for scandal, but for meaning. Body language experts debated composure. Commentators asked why the moment lingered. Young voices online spoke about recognition, the feeling of seeing two people their age carrying impossible weight without protection. Older generations felt something else entirely. Unease. Because that dance closed a chapter that had kept Leonor safely within abstraction. After it, she was no longer only Spain's future monarch. She was visibly young, standing at the edge between personal identity and public inheritance. And that edge is where pressure intensifies. Behind palace walls, the shift was acknowledged quickly. Leonor's schedule tightened. Appearances became more deliberate. Messaging more controlled. It wasn't punishment. It was containment. The institution responding instinctively to a moment that expanded beyond its original frame. Christian returned to his own path, his own responsibilities, equally aware that the last thing either country wanted was narrative convergence. And that raised the real question no one could say out loud. Why did this moment land with such force? The answer lies in timing. Spain in 2025 is not a neutral audience. It is a country negotiating trust, continuity, and relevance all at once. Leonor has come of age in a Spain where authority must explain itself constantly. Where youth are skeptical of inherited power, but still hungry for sincerity. That dance didn't promise anything. It didn't declare anything, but it showed restraint without coldness, and connection without excess. For a generation tired of spectacle, that felt real. For royal advisors, it felt risky. Soon after, Leonor's public tone subtly shifted. Speeches grew more grounded, language more present, less abstract unity, more lived responsibility. Analysts linked it to maturity. Others linked it to pressure. A few quietly acknowledged that once the public sees humanity, it cannot be unseen. Christian's name faded from commentary faster than expected, not because interest disappeared, but because the moment had already served its purpose. It wasn't about him individually. It was about contrast. That night crystallized what Leonor is walking toward, not a fairy tale frame, but a sharpened path where every human moment becomes political simply by existing. And yet, something unexpected happened. Instead of destabilizing her image, the moment strengthened it. Polls later showed no collapse in confidence. In some groups, trust increased. People didn't feel misled, they felt included, as if they had witnessed a boundary without crossing it. Queen Letizia understood that immediately. Those close to the royal household noted her attentiveness afterward. Not protective, observant. She knows the cost of being reduced to image. She also knows the cost of being denied humanity. King Philippe's response was quieter still. Stability isn't built by erasing moments like that dance. It's built by absorbing them without panic. And Leonor absorbed it. She did not retreat. She did not overcorrect. She continued forward with discipline sharpened by awareness. That is where everything truly changed. Not in public memory, but in her internal positioning. From that point on, Leonor was no longer just preparing for duty. She was testing its shape against reality. The last dance wasn't a beginning. It was a closing. The closing of a phase where the future queen could exist only as a concept. After that night, she became a person whose silence, pauses, and posture carried narrative weight. And that changes how power matures. Spain didn't witness romance. It witnessed transition. A quiet, unresolved moment that reminded everyone watching that monarchy is not preserved by freezing time, but by allowing the future to breathe without breaking the structure around it. That is why people still talk about it. Not because of what happened between Leonor and Christian, but because of what shifted within Leonor herself. And once that shift occurs, nothing stays the same again.